Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I was going to show you a program I made. And this is a serious project that I'm making that is pretty much feature complete, but it's an app called Clido. It's a very random name, but basically it means CLI do. And what this is a terminal-based to-do app that saves its state, so I can demonstrate that. So I'm going to stay in bash to demonstrate that it has exit code. So if I just type in Clido, you can see it exited with an error, no command specified. You can see list loaded learning bevy. Now I'm actually gonna just run a command. You don't have to know what it means yet, but basically I just set, and there's another command that I need to run to set it back to what it's like out of the box. One sec, bear with me. You can kind of see what I'm doing, but shoot, I did not expect to have this. Okay. So I'm also going to unload the list again. There. So this is what Clido is like out of the box. When you run it, you get an exit code of 1, meaning an error. And you'll see no to-do list loaded, use load, and then the list name to get started, Clido load my list. If there are no lists yet, use new instead of load. And the way you would install this is, so these are the supported platforms, officially supported. Linux is guaranteed to work, Windows should work. I actually asked someone to test Clido on Windows just now. Mac OS, BSD, and Redux should work. And how to install. The first thing you want to have is Rust, the Rust programming language. Doesn't matter how you install it, as long as you have the cargo command and Rust C and all that stuff. And then you also want to install Git, which is usually installed on most Linux distributions by default. And I'm going to try and package this as a Pacman package when I actually get the hang of that. So git clone the repository, so you'll want to git clone. So you git clone this repository, and then you just cd into it cargo build, and then you do with the binary as you would. So the binary is located in target/release/Clido. So when you're in the directory called Clido and you cargo build, this new binary is going to be in target release, and the binary name is Clido. On Linux, you just want to move or create a symbolic link to the binary in /user/local/bin, and it's the same on Mac OS and BSD. On Redux, you want to do the same, but with /redux/bin. And then for Windows, since it's a GUI approach on Windows, I linked a YouTube video, which I did not make because, of course, I don't use Windows. And then how to use. For a quick start, just open a terminal and type clido-h or clido-help. So if I type that in and I shrink the terminal a little, you can see that I got this healthily long help list. So these are all the commands that come with it. And you also have the meanings of the symbols. So like when you see this, it means a task that's not done. If you see this, it means a task that is done. If you see this, it means a task that is in progress. Now, you can also check what version of Clido you're running with the clido-version command, or just clido-v. And to show that Clido-h and Clido-help are the same thing. Here's Clido-help. It's literally the same thing. Executes the same code. It's just an OR statement in my code. But okay. So you run Clido on its own and you get this error. That's because you don't have a list loaded. And the way you load a list is you have to create a list. So let me create a new list, tutorial. And I could just do Clido-new tutorial and then Clido-load tutorial, but that's a little much to type. So pro tip is you can actually put in Clido-new and Clido-load into the same command, and it will create it and load it. So now I've created a tutorial list. And I can also remove that list with Clido-remove tutorial. And I should mention, any of these dangerous commands actually don't warn you, because I want this to be back-end friendly, so people can create GUI front ends for Clido if they really want to. So yeah, I'm not adding warnings. Also, warnings get a little annoying in an app like this. So you can remove lists, load them, make them. Now, this is just README information. For more information, you can actually go to the wiki for this application. And you'll see this rather simple wiki page. And this is the latest version of Clido. This is how you make sure you're up to date with the wiki version. So you just do Clido-v and you get the version. Simple as that. So using lists, I go into a little bit more detail right here in this first section about using lists. So if you click on that, I already went over creating lists, deleting lists. Now emptying a list. Emptying a list, so if I list the list, you'll see no tasks in it. So I'm just going to add 2 tasks for an example. And the reason I chose to make it a save state application is so I could take advantage of Bash's already built-in parsing, so I wouldn't really have to do that myself. So just ignore what I'm doing here, because I'll cover this later. Alright, so if I do Clido list now, you'll see these 2 tasks. Now to empty the list, if I want to reset the list, and again there's no warnings, I'm going to do Clido reset list, like this. When I run this, it will not ask me to write changes, but now if I list the list, you'll see no tasks in it. Alright, and now, and I'll probably change this later on where you have to write the change. I'm not sure, but yeah. And I'll add a feature in the future that allows you to cancel changes. Alright, editing lists. So now we get into the thing I told you I'd cover later, and that is editing this list. So editing lists can be done with the commands made for that. Type Clido-h or Clido-help for a list of commands. Please note that changes will not take effect unless you type Clido write or have auto write enabled. Enable/disable auto write with Clido toggle auto write. So I'm not going to do that right now because I want to show you what this means. So here are some commands for editing a list. Check. So check is how you mark a task as done. Uncheck is how you unmark it as done. So mark it as undone. In work, mark it as in progress. Add is how you add tasks. RM is how you remove tasks. And edit is how you open the list in a text editor. which I'll show you. So let me add some tasks. And the way I made this, you can actually bulk add tasks. So let me add make a cup of tea. I'll blow up this terminal a little. So make a cup of tea, and I'll add a new string that says go for a walk. And how about another water the plants and eat a snack. So here's a healthy collection of lists. Alright, 4 pending changes. And yeah, so I'm going to Clido write. So anytime you do an operation that edits the list, you're going to have to enter in Clido write to validate them. You can actually turn on auto write so it writes for you automatically with Clido toggle auto write. And when you do this, it will give you this status showing you true, false, false, true, whatever it is. So now I have auto write on. So if we Clido list, you'll see these tasks I added. Now, let me set making a cup of tea as in progress. So I'll do Clido in work 1. And I could actually bulk mark these too. So I'll show you that in a sec. So now, since I have auto write on, you see I don't have to enter in Clido write every time. So now you can see that make a cup of tea is in progress. Now go for a walk. Let's say I've done that already. And I've also watered the plants. So I'll do Clido check 2, 3, 4. Clido list. And let's say accidentally marked eat a snack as done. So I can uncheck that with Clido uncheck and then the task number. Clido list. And yeah, so that's basics of setting the task status. I'm gonna remove eat a snack because say I have a tummy ache now, so I want to remove 4. Clido list. Yeah, so now I'm gonna show you the edit option. So the way you use this is Clido edit and then the text editor you want to use. So for example, I could use Vim, but say I want to use a GUI text editor, so I'll use Notepad QQ. And you put in here the exact command you would use to open it up in a terminal. So to open up Notepad QQ here in a terminal, I'd type in Notepad QQ. Because all this command does, this Clido command, is literally open the file as an argument in this command. So if I do that, then Notepad QQ will open with this in here. And now, why do these look different? Like, why does the tasks that are marked as done have a star instead of a check mark, and in progress has a dash instead of an equal sign? Well, this is actually because I'm using a custom format I made called .tdl. This is a format I made back when I made RotoRS, which is another to-do app I made that is now deprecated because I made it with really bad Rust practices, and I was kind of a noob back then. And B, it's the concept of it, the way I made it, doesn't really suit most needs. And Clido is honestly way better because it takes advantages of pre-existing technologies way better. So yeah, so you can edit this. So for example, let me move water plants to the very top of the list, like so. And I'll close this file. And what's cool is if you open it in the text editor and close it without making any changes, it will automatically see that you have made no changes, so it won't set any pending changes in the status. So if now I Clido list, now you can see the tasks are reorganized. So let's see, what else do I have? Check, uncheck, in work, add. Yeah, so that's all really for manipulating lists. Yeah, so I went over add, rm, check, uncheck, in work, toggle auto write, pending. If you type in Clido pending, this is how you see how many changes are pending for the single list, the list you're currently focused on, the loaded list. And unload all is how you unload the list you are using currently. I'll probably change this unload all command to unload instead, since that makes more sense. List is how you list the contents of the list. Now the other command, lists with an S on the end, is how you list all the lists that you have in your non-integrated environment. And I'll get over what that is, integrated, non-integrated. So I have a main list, my videos idea list, learning bevy list, and tutorial list, which is what I'm on right now. Alright, Clido-H. Reset list. So we went all over all mumbling my words. Okay, we went over all the commands. So not many commands so far. I may add some more, but then again, this is an almost feature complete project, so, you know, I mean, it's fairly simple. I wrote this project in like 2 days, and it has maybe 2,000 lines of code, maybe 4,000. I don't know. I split it into a bunch of SRC files, so probably 2,000, 4,000, something like that. Somewhere in that range of lines of code. So, yeah, so we're done here. All right. Integrating, so just to look at this wiki page real quick, this is just about pending operations. We already went over this. The normal way of doing things, you would do Clido write and auto write, covered that. What happens if you don't write? Literally nothing happens if you don't write, except for the fact that your changes will just pile up until you cancel them by removing the pending file. And so they build up in a separate to-do list until you merge it to your regular with Clido write. So how to see how many changes are pending, you just use Clido pending. And then integrating Clido into your projects. This is what we want. So to do this, and let me demonstrate what this actually means. So I believe in my coding language that I'm creating, I have, I have not integrated Clido into this project. Let's do that, shall we? So the way you would do this is you create a new file called .clido in your project directory, the directory you want to integrate, and then you vim this .clido file, or open it in any text editor, but I'm going to use vim. And now what you want to do is put in the name of the list. So I'm going to put in to-do _list in this .clido file. And now if I cat the .clido file to see what's in it, you can see that it just has to-do _list, just this plain name. Now you want to touch another file, so create another file. And you want to call this the same thing you put in your .clido file, so to-do _list, and then you want to add the extension .tdl, to-do list, so .tdl. And once you do this, and if I open another terminal to demonstrate and I just run Clido in this normal terminal, you'll see it loads the list tutorial. But if I run Clido in this special directory with Clido integrated, you see it loads the to-do list in this directory instead. So now you can just use it normally, and Clido should work absolutely fine. It should work the exact same. So, yeah. And, yeah, so that's how you integrate Clido. So, why would you want to use this? Mainly to clean up your project a little. So, like not having the to-do list directly in your main file. So I can show you what I mean by that. So if I open up my favorite Rust editor, so my favorite Rust code editor, and I open my banana directory. This is my coding language I'm creating. If I go into main, you'll see that I put my to-do list directly in main. So I'm gonna open up to-do underscore list.tdl, and I'm just gonna move all this into there and obviously adapt it for that. So I'll save that, and I'll put this all in here, and I'll remove this white space so it's eligible, and I'll also make this so I'll just add a little custom denotion myself that will tell me that this is part of this other function. Yeah, so now, see these things on the end, I'm just going to remove these and put them at the beginning, because you may have seen the way TDL files are formatted is you put the status and then you put two of these greater than symbols, right pointing chevrons, I believe they're called. But alright, so now if I go into this project of mine and I run Clido, you can see it loads to-do list. So if I run Clido list, yeah, so this kind of works just fine. Let's see, what's the issue here? I feel like it may be a bug I need to fix. Yeah, let's see. Alright. Yeah, so I mean, it's not, it does trim the output a little, but you know what, it does work, so I will call that a win. Alright, so I just moved the to-do list into a separate file for Clido integration. So now I can clean this up a little, and I can, just for fun, build this file, build this project if I wanted to. Yeah, so I'm gonna get status, and now I can just git push this. So I'm gonna get status, git commit, Clido integration. And push it. And I think I just made a kafooey. Alright. Git pull, or no. Okay, I'm gonna do this later. And I'm gonna reclone the repo so I don't risk anything. So you get the idea. It's a simple to-do app that's supposed to help with projects and whatnot. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial overview of what Clido is. Tell me if you think this is a worthy project to be integrated into your projects. I think I created this to help my own workflow, and of course, we all know that all the big projects, like, for example, Git, were created kind of for the same reason, to help the creator's workflow. So, I think this is definitely a helpful tool. It's a tool I use a lot already, so it's not going to go depreciated or anything like that anytime soon. So, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Consider subscribing, leaving a comment, following me on Odyssey. All my links and all the relevant links will be down in the description. Consider checking those out. Leave a like, follow me on Odyssey, share the video, ring the bell on both platforms, and do all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.